Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans. I'm Stephanie and today we're going to be doing a video about all of my favorite things from 2021. So I'm going to talk about all my different planner items that I use consistently and that I loved for the entire year, and I'll break it down into categories. So if you want to skip ahead, I'll have the timestamps to specific categories of items if you just want to check those out. Also too, I will put all of the links to all the items that I have in the description below so you can check them out for yourself and pick them up if you so desire. So if that sounds good, let's jump in. The very first item that I want to share with you guys is this little tool. It is called a precision cutter and it's from the company Slice. I use it regularly on most of my projects, especially on my health planner, but also anywhere where I have to cut stickers. I get a lot of use out of this tool. It is a tiny little cutter, kind of like an X-Acto knife, but just really, really small. Has a ceramic tip, so it would be really hard to cut yourself with it. However, it works perfectly for cutting stickers on top of your page. Because the tip is so small, it doesn't cut through the paper. Just really beneficial for people who use stickers on their spread or washi or anything on top of the paper. It really gives you a nice delicate touch to cut through those type of things, or make adjustments without having to cut through the paper by mistake. Also too, it handles like a pen, so you can just basically draw curves and things like that with this, and it's very smooth. So I talk about this a lot. It's one of obviously my favorite things. Makes a list pretty much every year. Very cool little tool to have in your arsenal for planning. It just makes your life a lot easier. So the next product I want to talk about that I use all the time and is one of my favorite things is a Jelly Roll white opaque pen from Sakura. I put this on my list again last year as well. I continuously use it every week, so it's definitely one of my favorite things. I have graduated to the 10. Before I used to use the 8, and the 10 is just a little bit thicker line and a little bit easier to use. I use this a lot to cover up fine lines in my planner, like where I want to put a sticker on top of a line or something and I just want a cleaner background, or just to white out an area so that I can make a cleaner slate on my spread. That is what I mainly use this for, but I've also used it on top of stickers, clear stickers, paper stickers, to add some white or to change the color of a sticker. That works really well. And the 10 tip in particular I like, but it comes in various sizes. I have a 5, an 8, and a 10 here. All three of those I've used in different applications depending on what I'm doing. So it's a really great idea to pick up a set of these if you don't have any and use those on your spreads. Again, one of my favorite things, and I hope it will be yours too. Next up, we have some mild liners from Zebra, and these again are an essential to me. I use them a lot to make check boxes on my spreads, and having a variety of colors really makes it easier for you to match your styling. So if you have certain colors on your spread, to have the right color pens just kind of helps. The great thing about these guys is that they are dual tipped, so you have like a highlighter edge with a slanted edge. So these are perfect for like making boxes or just lines across, thicker lines across. But then there's also a fine tip, which is great for if you want to draw something or actually use it for handwriting. You can, and again, same color scheme, so you've got the best of both worlds with this. I've pretty much picked up all of the options available currently from Onliner in various colors. I like the shades that they offer. There's muted tones, there's some more vibrant tones as well, and they don't bleed through the paper, which is super important. I currently use HP paper, a 32-pound weight, which is thick, but not like super thick, and I've never had a problem with these guys really bleeding through that paper. The darker colors will ghost on the back of some of the like lighter stock planners that are out there on the market, but overall they're pretty good about not soaking through the paper. So I really like that. I like that they have so many options, and enjoy using this set. Again, you have a variety of ways you can use it, so if you don't have at least a couple to try, I would suggest picking some up and applying them in your spreads. It's just an added way to add some color and variety to your spreads. One thing that I didn't mention, but I remember using these for, is the smaller tip I've used for textures. You can add different kind of shapes, confetti, crosses, things like that onto your spread, kind of add another dimension of flavor, if you will. It's just a really easy way to do that if you don't have stickers to make that happen, or if you're looking for a specific color scheme. So lots of different ways to use this, and again, one of my favorite things. Next up, we have the lettering set, and the first thing that I would suggest for anybody who is lettering in a planner, especially if it's a smaller planner or anything smaller than a letter size planner, you would really benefit from having a brush tip pen like these. This is the Tombow Fudonosuke, and I get it in a hard tip. It's a lot easier to control for beginners. I used it all year long in my faith planner for handwriting. I've been working on my brush lettering this year, and it's been essential for me to really improve my skills and get the control that I really wanted while doing it in a planner. It's a really awesome little pen. It actually comes in different colors, which I wasn't aware of at first. But yeah, so you can get it in different colors. I happened to get this one in purple from a lettering set I picked up, but they have, I think, like the primary colors all available in this Fudonosuke style brush pen. The tip is very small, but it really allows you to press if you need to, and then get really fine light strokes when you do the upstroke. Again, a really great tool to have in your arsenal, especially if you are starting out in lettering or just lettering in a planner itself. Even if you have some skills, I'm sure you're aware of this, but again, one of my favorite things, really helped me improve my lettering game this year, and highly recommend it. Next up, we have the Pigma Micron 3 from Sakura. This little guy I've used throughout my lettering in my planner, as well as anytime I need a fine liner in my planner. It has really come through. The ink is just a nice solid black. The tip is just a fine felt tip pen. The ink dries really fast, so if you are tracing over something that you've written in pencil and then need to erase behind it, no problems with smearing. I really like this tool for lettering as well, for doing fine lettering styles on my planner. Like I said, just multi-use in a planner. Doesn't bleed through the page, very important, and again, it doesn't really smear. I've had problems in the past with flare pens from Papermate. I used to use that as my go-to for a fine liner in my planner, and it always smeared on me. So I was always looking for alternatives, and this one is a great one to have. They have different sizes again, so if you need something thicker or thinner. Overall, the bleeding is really important. I really like that about this. It does not bleed through, and it does not smear. So a great tool to have for lettering. Lastly, in the lettering column, I am putting in these Arteza Twi markers. I learned how to pronounce it this year. I think I've used these in the past and called them something else, but the Twi markers from Arteza are awesome for bringing some added color and variety to your lettering without a lot of money. So you get a lot of different variety of colors for on the cheap, and there's a few things I really love about these pens. First off, they are dual tipped. You get a small brush tip on one side, and you also will get a fine tip on the other side. Both of these options are really great for different reasons. I will say that the brush tips aren't really good for beginner letterers if you're trying to letter with them. I did buy the set in hopes that I could do some brush lettering with them. It really didn't work out. The brushes are just a little too soft for beginner letterer. Maybe somebody with some advanced hand technique could make them work, but they're not great for that. However, the way that I letter, I do a lot of different types of styles along with doodling and things. So this tip is great for actually writing with. It's so fine. It's almost as fine, I would say, as this micron, which is a 0.3. I would say that the tip is probably around a 3 or 0.3 or 0.35 tip size. So really can get a fine line with those in all the colors that they have available. And then when you want to maybe like color something in or make a solid line or even highlight something, that's where the brush tip really comes in for me and when I'm doing my lettering. Just some options for you. And like I said, I got this huge set of pens to use, and I think the price is under 40 or 50 bucks for this. And Arteza always has deals and sales. So if you want a set of 100, that's awesome, but they also have smaller sets as well if you just want to try them out. A great tool, like I said, and I use them consistently throughout the year. I usually would pick a couple of colors and use that for each month, so it was just nice to have the variety to match up with the stickers or whatever I'm doing in my spread. Highly recommend these for anybody wanting to try out lettering or just to add some color and variety to your spreads. These are really great. Next we have the We Are Memory Keepers Disc Power Punch. I picked this up at the end of last year and oh my goodness, it is an awesome tool. I didn't really get full use out of it until I started DIYing projects, but it's great. It basically does a mushroom head punch, and some benefits of this is that it's like perfect for happy planners. Some of the punches that they have on the market have a really small stem, and it makes it so that your paper isn't very secure in the discs. But this one is awesome for making a nice deep cut so your pages are really in there and secure and can go through a multitude of different objects, plastics, I would say probably even thin metals, thick papers, cardstocks, just lots of options for this. So it's a great tool to have if you are DIYing anything and you need that extra oomph to get through the pages, because a lot of the punches, again, out on the market are really only for punching through lighter weight materials. So this is one of my favorite things. It's come in so handy when I'm doing anything that requires a little extra effort and is DIY'd. So love this. And again, one of my favorite things. So check it out. So next we're going to talk about one of my newer items to my collection that I have fallen in love with. It is the Scotch Thermal Laminator, and it's a very budget-friendly option if you want to have a laminator in your arsenal. That's why I picked it up, because at first I really wasn't sure how much I was going to be laminating, so I wanted to just kind of try it out, see how it did, and this is a very budget-friendly option. Under 30 bucks. I think I got this one at Target, and it was, not on sale, so under 30 bucks and not on sale is a pretty good deal for a machine like this. It does 3mm and 5mm thickness sheets, and so I also got these laminating pouches in 5mm. It was kind of important to get that because the 3mm is still pretty flimsy, almost like a sheet of paper. 5mm really beefs things up a little bit and makes it a little bit thicker, more like a cover stock thickness. That is what I would recommend if you are going to try to do a laminator. Get the 5mm sheets, at least to start off with the Scotch. When you want to get more advanced, of course, there's options with 10mm sheets, and that will give you a really nice rigid lamination. But if you're just starting out like me, this really does the trick. I really fell in love with the options that I could do with this once I kind of got into it and started playing around with it. I made my entire holiday planner using it, and it turned out great. I was really, really happy with the results. So again, the combination here with the 5mm and the thermal laminator is really great for those DIY projects, and although very new to my arsenal, has quickly become one of my favorite things. So the next thing I wanted to share with you guys as a favorite thing I use in my DIY projects is a guillotine cutter. These kind of cutters are really just essential if you do any sort of printable planning where you print your own printables at home and need to cut them down for your planner. I've had this for years for multiple purposes. It's just a great option for cutting multiple sheets of paper at once. The blade can get through 5-10 sheets at least at a time, depending on what you're cutting, and can really just speed up the process of building out your planner. If you watch any of my DIY videos for when I set up my planners, my lineups, my preps, you'll see that I use this for all of my cutting, and it just makes life so much easier. Like I said, this one's kind of old, but I will link some newer options below in the description if you want to check them out for yourself. It's worth the money if you're going to do anything where you're setting up your planner for the new year and you want to print a bunch of different items and cut them down. Highly recommend a guillotine cutter. It is definitely something I could not live without, especially for DIYing, and one of my favorite things. The next product I want to talk to you guys about that I use almost every week, again, for setting up my planner is the Bo Memo thermal printer. This guy I use every week to print out stat stickers for my health planner. Just a way for me to easily print out stickers and keep things simple. I don't have to get big sheets. I can just print it off one by one. It comes with a white roll, and then you could also get this transparent set, so that's what I use mostly for my planner, but you could use it with the paper as well. I've also used this to print out the labels for my dashboards as well as custom stickers. So if I'm trying to create a theme and I don't have the stickers in my arsenal to get it done, sometimes I'll look online and print things out and just make my own stickers using this printer. It's been an awesome tool to have just to make things happen. I really love it. It's very simple. It only prints black, but you don't need any ink. It's just been a great tool for me to have in my arsenal, and pretty reasonable, I would say, to have it. The amount of use I've gotten out of it has definitely made it worth my while. If you follow me and watch my health videos, you know that I use this every week consistently, and again, have some other multi-use options that I've shown in the past. So a really great option to have, and one of my favorite things. So this product has been a little bit more generalized, but again, one of those things that is just one of my favorite things that I've discovered this year, and it simply is solid colored washi. I have two sets here from different places. The thicker set is from Joann's, and then the thinner set I got on Amazon. Both are really great options, and I'm so happy that I kind of got on the solid washi train and got some in my arsenal. Really hadn't thought about washi solid colors before. Once I started using them more in my spreads, I really realized how beneficial they can be, adding a bit of color or even changing the options that you're seeing on the spread without adding too much clutter. In the past, I used a lot more patterned washi, and that's great when you want to add texture, but sometimes you want to add more color than texture, and that's where the solid washi really comes in. If you get a set, a lot of times you'll have like a rainbow of colors available to you, and so that's really beneficial if you want to do like a rainbow spread, or if you're looking for a specific color scheme, you can usually find the orange or the blue or whatever works in your spreads and kind of make it all tie together. So having a rainbow of colors really helps, and then just the solidness of it, like I said, really brings added color to your spread without adding extra patterns and textures. You don't have to worry about patterns overlaying and causing too much, visual clutter. Again, one of my favorite things, a little bit more general, but yes, I really am excited that I started putting more solid washi in my spreads and discovering all of the awesome uses of it. So if you don't have any solid washi in your stash, definitely check some out. So next we're going to talk about these two stencils, mainly this one here with the round circles, but both are very handy in specific applications. These are from the Happy Planner and they're called the Line It Up, Check It Off stencils. They're made currently for a classic Happy Planner. The sizing here will fit perfectly in a planner if you want to keep them with you at all times. However, I just keep them on my desk as a tool. They are also sized for vertical planners, so if you need to do checklists on a vertical planner, these are perfectly sized for that. So you have that again in your arsenal. The real benefit of these to me is for making habit trackers. I know it's a little bit weird, but I have constantly used these this year for making habit trackers in my health planner without having like a sticker or something else to add. I simply use them sideways and I do 4 and then I slide it over a little bit and then do 3 more in between, and it makes a perfect habit tracker. Very easy to do. I use the circle ones a lot, but I've seen people use the squares and I believe it would work very similarly. You just have to space them out a little bit more from each other because the squares are a little bit bigger. Overall, just a really neat little way to repurpose the use for these and have some options if you are like me and maybe a health planner or somebody who likes to add habit trackers to their spreads and is constantly using habit tracker stickers. This is a really cool way to kind of DIY it, customize it with whatever colors you want, and make it your own. Again, one of my favorite things is kind of a miscellaneous item, but I wanted to talk about the different ways that I've been using this as well, since I'm not really a vertical planner, but have found them very useful for habit trackers. And last but not least is this product called Undo. It is a product that allows you to pick up stickers from a spread and reuse them without damaging your paper. Liz actually sent this to me, one of my subscribers, very sweet, because I definitely was a little bit skeptical about it when I saw it, and I was like, I don't know. So it actually sat around and I didn't use it at first. I was like, I'm not 100% sure about wetting out a piece of paper with this Undo. It was scary, not gonna lie. However, when I used it the first time and found how magical this thing is, I was a convert and have been preaching its praises ever since. So basically what happens is that when you use Undo, it soaks through the paper, which is again very scary, and then you use this to scoop out the sticker from the page. So it releases the sticker from the paper but does not damage the stickiness. So once the paper dries and the sticker dries, you can replace that sticker wherever you want, just like it was brand new. Awesome tool. Wish I had kind of tried it sooner. Somebody mentioned it to me years ago and I just didn't jump on board. And then yeah, once I actually had some in my arsenal to try out, then I definitely converted. So really great if you guys are a little bit more of a like place stickers down, no prep time, and then you kind of regret your choices sometimes, or maybe you place stickers down but they're crooked and it bothers you, then you can easily use this to pick them up and redo the placement. But really cool product and highly recommend. Definitely has become one of those things that I could not live without now that I know it exists. So try it out if you haven't already, and again, one of my favorite things. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.